All right, guys, welcome to another video. On this video here, I have Zach, which is actually one of our first students. Sign on back, I think, in February or something, start
Yeah.
March, something like that. It's been a while now, it's almost 3 months. So here I'll just ask Zach a couple questions. You can get a better understanding of how it is being part of the program, and yeah, let's get into it. So, Zach, maybe first off, could you just briefly describe to me, like, why did you decide to get started with dropshipping?
Sure, that's a good question. So, in the past, I've had my own business, and then that kind of just faded as I started a career in finance. So, just looking to make extra money, I felt like if I could make even $50 a day, then that would be a way to kind of supplement my income. So, looking for a way to make additional money, realizing that it's not really a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. Like you're gonna have to put in the work for it.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. And can you share where you were before and then after working with us? I don't think you did dropshipping before working with us, right? Did you dabble a little bit in it?
Yeah, so I think what I was doing was and this isn't, I guess, legitimate drop shipping, but I was just posting things from I don't know, like Walmart or Target onto Facebook Marketplace. Just, really, this was years ago, but that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
only experience I ever had. And it worked a little bit, but I just gave up on that. So, and then now, after this course, I definitely recommend it to anyone. Francesco and Rasmus, they really they go so deep into the weeds with you and kind of walk you through every single step to where you're kind of everything that they know. So all the little things, I mean, just working with them, you run into so many areas where you're like, oh, I think this is a good product, and they're like, no, that's not a good product because of this, and then that happens 10 more times, So everything from trying to figure out a one second, sorry, let me pause this. I gotta run downstairs. Be right back. Hey, good to go? Thanks, man. Sorry, I had someone working on the
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
meter. Anyway, so yeah, I really appreciate you guys walking me through step by step all of the the minor details to get the end-to-end product, helping me pick the product, the steps that go into that. It's been really great. It's worth every penny, because especially with the advertising, when you start getting into advertising and you put so much time into launching a product, it takes a lot of time to launch a product and find the product.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like it can take a while to find a winning product, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then launching it that does take time too, and really putting in the effort to make sure it's the perfect, site, and you have the great advertisements. And then once you're pumping money into it, it's like you spent all this time and money. You don't want to make any mistakes because it will just set you back. And you might give up. You'll probably, I could definitely see myself just giving up on this if I didn't have you guys for this.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's good to hear. How much revenue have you generated so far?
I think 5,000 in
No way.
So, yeah, 5,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wow. And how much are you spending a day? Like 50?
$50 a day. Yeah.
Well, what are you week to date, or last week or something?
Let me just check.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious because you said you made 300 or something the other day.
Yeah, in one day last week. Let me see. What are we week to date? The last 7 days, I'm at $999 and $996.68. So
in what time frame?
7 days.
Oh wow, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, and seven days, so multiply by 50, that's 350 in ad spend ish around there. And yeah, $1,000 in revenue. Not bad, not too shabby.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's been really cool. I'm looking to make get the next product. That's just that part obviously takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Kind of sifting through things. So but yeah, the site's been great. Everything you guys helped me with has been really awesome.
Awesome. How much has our help had an impact on you, would you say?
Oh, everything. Yeah, I don't think I'd even know where to really start. You can watch the free tutorials, but I don't think that's gonna, I don't know. It's just when someone's sitting down with you and really putting in I don't know how many hours I spent with you guys. It was I don't know.
I think we're above. I think a call is usually around an hour, right?
Yeah, easily. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we've done at least 12, 15 at this point, I think.
Exactly. So yeah, so more than that. And then, Rasmus and Francesca, they've just been great. If I like find a product that I think would be good, I send it to them, and they've always been like really helpful with that. And just really hands-on. Like they really care, and they want to make sure that you succeed. So they basically guarantee that you're going to succeed. Otherwise they're not going to stop. So
yeah,
been really, really helpful for me. Especially when I'm busy, I have a lot going on. I have a full-time job. So it's been really great.
Finance is pretty intensive on hours, right?
That's it can be. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely can be. But yeah, you guys and they're flexible too. These guys are super flexible, which is really important because we're in different time zones. So appreciate that.
Awesome. How much time, like talking about time, how much do you spend on like a daily or weekly basis, would you say, like between calls and research and stuff like that?
So I think we only spent probably like we were doing like 2 times a week. So like close to 2 hours, just like with you guys. And then, you really have to spend like 30 to 40 minutes a day to like start searching for a product seriously. And that's what I was basically doing. So I'd say like until if you find the product, then obviously you're pretty much, barely spending any time, but to find the product, it's going to take you some time to do that, at least like 30 minutes a day, every day. I would say at least 5 times a week or something like that.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah, five times a week, 2.5 hours plus, so like around 5 hours a week-ish.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. But I know finance, obviously, with your job, it's very time intensive too, so you probably don't have a ton of time on your hand outside of work. But for someone that might just work like a 9 to 5 or something, I think most people could scratch out 5 hours a week to look at products and stuff like that.
Yeah, easily. Anybody can find that time.
Yeah. So like based on the results you've seen so far, where do you think you'd be, like where do you see yourself in like 6 to 12 months?
So once I find that next product, I feel like that's the hardest part. I could definitely, and keeping this one going, until it starts becoming unprofitable or something like that. That's pretty cool. Definitely some extra income there. But I could definitely see, making, if we're talking like a dollar value, at least like a few thousand a month if I really put in the time minimum to do this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear. What surprised you the most about the mentorship? Do you have any like preconceptions or misconceptions coming into it that kind of got squashed, or anything that like
100%. Yeah, I think it's more of like, I don't know, like with these like business models of like, mentorship. I never had really done a mentorship, so I really thought like it would be kind of a churn and burn. Like you send me all these course guides, which they did. They do have the course guides, like the paperwork, the documents,
the docs.
And then I was like, okay, they're gonna walk me through the process, help me find the product, and then kind of like leave me on my own. But throughout the whole process, it's like I was really surprised about how much time they've spent, working with me. It was, I couldn't believe it, honestly. It was so I appreciate that. That was a big preconceived notion. And then all the little like tricks and everything like that. There's no gatekeeping with you guys. I know like a lot of people are like, oh, they're very like,
surface level,
surface level, but also like with these mentorships, like they're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to give you like all these things that might give someone an edge. So it's just been every little detail that you guys have to chime in, and everything's also recorded. So can easily go back. Like, let's say like I haven't done it for a while, which I haven't, launched a new product. We've only launched one product. I can go back and watch every step. So really great. Preconceived notion wise, I think you guys definitely, went above and beyond that. I was definitely really you remember I was really skeptical with signing up.
Yeah, I remember. I think actually I was in Paris when we were texting like after the sales call we had, and you were like, yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence about this. Like, is it really going to be true? But I mean, I guess you can tell for yourself it was better than what you hoped for.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like I have like the toolbox to do it myself, but then also you guys as a resource still. We've still stayed in like, pretty close communication, even though the course was, ended a little while ago. So
yeah.
Cool.
So if someone was on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, like, if you're willing to put in the work, then 100% you should do it. Like if you're like, oh, kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like it's a great skill to learn. I think, like, let's say you lose your job or you do something like that. If you put in the work with these guys, then you will get benefits from it. You will see results from it. They will guarantee it, from what I've seen from my experience. So
Yeah.
I'd say, if you're serious about it, then give it a shot.
Awesome. Any final like things you'd like to say to anyone watching this video? Or
Yeah, this is definitely, like, even like with the tariffs and everything going on right now. One thing I learned is that, like, I think my sales actually started to like increase after that, because I think people just start leaving the market, like they start
yeah.
drop shipping. So wouldn't worry about that. I think it just creates more opportunity, something like that, because some of these products can be saturated. So other than that, definitely recommend these guys. Fantastic experience so far. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. Thank you so much. Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll stop recording.